In this video, we're going to introduce another type of data type that's a little bit different than the numerical data types that we have defined, and that is the character data type. So a character data type, similar to how int starts with int, float stands with float, and other things start with whatever they are, the character data type starts with char. So we're going to define a character, and we're going to call it choice. So what a choice or a character variable can store is letters and digits, not necessarily numbers. So if you want to initialize a character, you can't just say this is equal to a, because this could be a variable. So if you want to define a character variable initially, you have to put this in single quotes. So therefore, it's important to know that there is a difference between that and that letter A, and there's also a difference between that character, which is 4, and 4. Those are completely different things. This is the integer 4, and this is the character 4. And keep in mind, characters are only single unit objects, so you can't have words, for example, like the and book. It has to be a single letter or a single character, right? So that's pretty much what a character is. So let's write a basic program to sort of see how to use characters. So we're going to have a basic menu, for example. So menu. And we'll go to a new line. So \n is another way to go to new line if you don't want to use end L. And then we'll do some lines here, right? There we go. Cool. So we can say, okay, press if you want to go to up. We can go down, for example. So cout B goes down, and we can cout E to exit. So this is like a basic, window for like video games or something like that. And then we can cin the value of choice, right? Cool. So let's pretty much look at this before we actually go into more details. So we're going to insert a choice, for example, A, and then it's going to do something. So cout choice equals, and then we'll input the choice there, right? So we can define locations, for example. So int location, let's define it to be equal to 0. So if choice is equal to A, then we're going to make our location is going to increase by 1. You can also do location ++ as another alternative. And if choice is equal to B, then we can say location is equal to location minus 1. And if choice is equal to E, then we can say cout goodbye. And else, then we'll default this to the goodbye as well. So if they insert any other letter, for example, then it'll just exit the program. Well, I mean, it's going to exit the program whether they choose A, B, or E. But in general, that's going to be, some basic dialogue that you should be able to, experiments in a basic video game. Oh, so let's also display the location. So cout location equals location. Let's also display the location here as well. Location equals location. Alright, so let's give this a test run. So if we push A, then it says 1, goodbye. Let's do some indels just to make this a little bit more neater. Let's see here. So this should be actually an else if, so that it doesn't, jump into this else statement. So if we push A, then the location is equal to 1, and then we exit the program. If we push B for down, then it's going to go to -1, and then it's going to exit the program. Let's push E, it should say goodbye. And let us push some other letter like Z, it also says goodbye. Now there is a minor issue that will result in here. For example, you're not going to most of the time type in capital A, you'll just type in lowercase a. So notice that it says goodbye, it doesn't increase your location by 1. That is because the characters little a and big A are not the same character. They look completely different, even though intuitively it might make sense that they are the same. So what you can do is you can do like a if choice is equal to capital A or little a, then do this, or if choice is equal to B or capital B, then that is also an alternative as well. So what we can do is we can append another choice here. So I'm not going to get into the ands and ors in detail, so you can sort of guess in between the two. So this is going to be and choice is equal to little a. So we can sort of see if this is going to work as well. So if we type in little a now, it says goodbye, so clearly that's not the correct choice. So we can say if that or that is true, then it should increase our value by 1. So if we choose an A, now it increases our location by 1. So we can also do it here. So if choice is equal to capital B or the choice is equal to little b, then we should decrease by 1. So let's type in little b so that, decreases our location by 1 as well, which is great. Now, do we need to do a little e? The answer is no, because all of the other cases are encapsulated in this function, so that pretty much is a simple example of menus, for example. And that's pretty much an introduction to basic characters, and also a couple little logical operators like or and. But we'll talk about them in a little bit more detail later. But these are just some basic things about characters. Definitely some things to remember. When you initialize characters, you can't just say equals a, you have to put single quotes around it. And there's a difference between that and that as well. Also in the characters, you can also save like percentage signs, ampersand signs, star signs, pretty much any symbol that you can type on your keyboard. Most will register, but that's like what are all the characters that are usually registered as a character. We can talk about that at a later time, but these are just some of the basics that you definitely need to know if you want to work with characters or character strings.